and this is my channel Evolve with Monette. We are here in the very early morning hours, and I am at Sandals Royal Barbados, and I thought, what a no better, more appropriate place to have this discussion than Sandals Royal Barbados. I thought I would do the Dusset, what's her name? The Duchess of Sussex, girl. For all of the speech therapy that I had, that's a tough one for me. So there's something for you trolls to make fun of, because I know that this video is going to get a lot of trolls. But for those of us that are not trolls and just have eyes to see and common sense to understand, um, it's crazy. It's so funny. I'm watching a frog. Let me see if I can get it. Let's see. Can you guys kind of see my view here? I am at my SwimUp lagoon, and my room is just over there where you see that first light. That is my room. My roommate is asleep. Bestie is sleeping, and we are at Sandals Royal Barbados, and I am here to officiate a wedding, and it's going to be a wonderful thing, and it's joyous. So that will be happening tomorrow. But you guys don't want to just see the view, or do you? I don't know. I'll turn back to me, because wouldn't it be appropriate to turn back to me since we are talking about the Duchess of Sussex? All right, guys. So I'm sitting at one of these like things, and I'm sitting very precariously because it's wet on the other side. And if I move, like if I hit this at all, it like rains on me because it's this beautiful thatched roofing that covers me. It's gorgeous. Anyway, I want all of the little buggies and things to stay in their place. Let me get right into this, okay? Early morning hours here, and I want to make sure that I got this done before everyone wakes up and starts heading off to breakfast and doing all of the things, okay? So there has been a lot of communication and conversation because Meghan Markle has recently made video, um, her podcast called, I think it's called Archetypes, a play on her son's name, Archie. And also, archetypes are really popular right now. Carolyn Miss, for anybody that's in the metaphysical community, Carolyn Miss has done an incredible work with archetypes. I have her deck. They're fantastic for helping you kind of decode and figure out what's going on, what archetypes you're working with if you're doing a reading. So archetypes are a big thing, and we are always, all of us at all times, playing into archetypes. So good on her for like like kind of capturing the moment and doing a really good job regarding understanding that something that we're all paying attention to. But the criticism that Megan's podcast is receiving is that it is incredibly one-sided, that she is incredibly selfish, and guys, I'm going to be fighting off bugs and all of that stuff because we are outside. I thought this was going to be great. You hear the birds chirping. I must say though, just something I observed as I was going to sleep last night, that I think they pipe in the bird sound. There are real birds out here this morning because it's morning. But listen to the kind of loop that it's on. It was kind of weird to me. I'm like, why are you guys piping in nature? We're in nature. We're like 50 seconds from the beach. It's weird. Anyway, that little criticism for Royal Barbados for me. But it's unnerving when you go to sleep because it's not natural, right? Just go to sleep at night. Anyway, that's another weird little thing for me growing up in the Keys. I understand the patterns of birds. So what I will tell you is that she has this podcast and everybody's criticizing it because they're saying that she is once again out of touch, once again not understanding her audience, once again not understanding her reach. And maybe she gets her reach, but she doesn't understand her audience. And she interviews Serena, and most of the interview, it's all about her. And then she interviews Mariah Carey, and that's what brings us here today. So she interviews Mariah Carey, and Mariah has the audacity, the unmitigated gall to actually tell Megan to her face what we all think about her, including the diva herself. Mariah is known for being a diva. Mariah hails from a mother, for those of you guys that don't know, who was an opera singer. And quite literally, opera singers were called divas. If any of you guys remember watching The Fifth Element, you remember the scene with the diva singing that was like the most powerful scene? P.S. That was played by like the director's model girlfriend. Really interesting backstory to that. But if any of you guys remember that, what you will remember is that they called her the diva in the Fifth Element because that's what opera singers and entertainers and artists are called, right? So it's a very real, normal, some negative connotation, sure, if you want to say that, fine. But here's my thing about this: if Mariah, the Carrie, the All I Want for Christmas Is You, has the nerve to look at you, Megan, and say that you are a diva, and say it unapologetically, say it irreverently, say it with her chest. I mean, girl said it with her chest. Not only did she say it with her chest, she doubled down in a tweet where she was like, yeah, I called Megan a diva because I meant it in the most fabulous of all ways. But she was not going to retract, even though Megan in the podcast, not edited, which I thought it was interesting that she didn't edit it out, tried to be like, what do you mean? Walk that back. That's negative. People da 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 da. And then Megan even comes out after and smears her guess because Megan has zero freaking clue. And she says, oh, Mariah probably called me that because of some rubbish she read in a magazine. So, is Mariah that thick that she is just one to just pick up a magazine, read it, and implicitly believe what it says? Or is Mariah like the rest of us, even from her gilded, cocooned bubble of her life? Is she observing toxic, negative, wild Taliban behavior? And or maybe not. It's all maybe Mariah didn't see it as toxic. Maybe Mariah is being honest and she felt like it was actually, something to be lauded or whatever. I don't know. But in any case, Mariah called her that to her face. That was in the tuck. Do you not think that Mariah and her good Judies and her friends and her lambs, as her fans are called, had maybe discussed, maybe not with all of her fans, but let's say her intimate close circle, do you not think that they had discussed that perhaps Mariah felt that Megan was a diva, or that Mariah said to her fan base or her friends, I'm gonna go do this show. What do you guys think about Megan? I think she's fabulous. I think she's a diva. I promise you, for the way that Mariah said it, that conversation was something that was had. Does that make sense? It was something that was had previously. It was a thought form that was already in her soul, and she said it exactly how she meant it. And when she said it, she meant it. And when she meant it, she said it. And then she tweeted it, and she quoted it, and she said it again. Now, why did Megan have such a problem with this? Well, Megan had such a problem with this because she's Megan. Because how dare you say to my face the thing that the firm, which is the 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 institution of the monarchy, and oh my gosh, I don't know how I start this video without saying this very appropriately. God rest the Queen, you know? A lot of you guys know me from that video I did where I talked about Meghan Markle, but also my experience having a British West Indian mother who had the most incredible reverence for the Queen, who was in tears yesterday, as many of the world were. And I felt that because it was like, never again will we see something like this. This woman sat on the throne for 70 plus years. Anyway, that's another video for another time, but God rest the Queen. Yeah. And I have to make this video and say this, that it is, God bless Queen Elizabeth. She lived the most incredible life and literally extracted every single thing she could from that life. But it is not lost on me, and probably not lost on her countrymen and women, the unnecessary toll that Megxit took on her soul. That is not the way we treat our 96-year-old, 90-something at the time that it began, grandmother. But that's the way that Meghan treats everybody. So why would the Queen be any different? And that's the truth. So I don't care who it pisses off. I don't care what y'all want to say about me, my appearance. I know you trolls. I see you coming. Yes, you get a good old light in this early morning with this. Well, it's not great lighting. No sun's out and everything. But y'all can say whatever you want to. Come for me. But don't forget to come for Megan. And here is why I say come for Megan. It's not that I'm trying to incite anything against Megan, but I think it is so imperative to understand that what I got attacked for when I made that first Megan video was being someone that doesn't love black people, that didn't love myself. Oh, guys, I wish you guys could know my full life and story. Good morning, Kesala. I am in Royal Barbados. I am at Sandals in Royal Barbados, so good morning to you. I'm so glad the Wi-Fi works because I'm literally out of contact with my clients and everything, which I kind of did. I never unplug, guys. I always work. And so even though I'm out here to work, technically, I'm officiating a wedding. Anyway, so let me get back to Megan. So this will be my only contact. You guys are my only contact of like working, okay? But I think we'll see. But what I will tell you is that I got attacked because of that. People told me I didn't like myself. People told me that I didn't like my own skin color. People told me that the same white women that were lauding me in the comments would kill me and assassinate me and hate me if I were to not say or do what they said. And I kept trying to make this very salient point that we're talking about a narcissist. And a narcissist, when we're dealing with narcissistic energy and narcissistic behavior, what we're dealing with is someone where this is not about Megan's race, but it is, isn't it? Let's talk about that. In her podcast, she got a lot of backlash in the first one because she said that she didn't know what it was like to be treated like a black woman until she went to England, and then they let her know promptly and immediately that she was black. Yes, Megan, welcome to the Black experience. Nice to have you. We'll send you your reparations never, and maybe you'll get a toaster. What I will tell you is that she said she'd only been treated as mixed. Now, it's controversial, but what Megan did was something called passing. And if you're any kind of woman of color or person of color, even in the Asian community, it is lauded that you are lighter. They frown on people that are any kind of complexion that it's not essentially porcelain, and it is well known. In Africa, everyone is bleaching. Here, everyone is bleaching. It's a thing. I happen to love my color. We'll be out in the sun all day today. We'll love it when I come back a few shades darker. My makeup looks better. Life just is better. I love glowing. I grew up in the Keys. I embrace my color. So for any hater coming for me for that, you can't say that. I love my color, and I like myself even darker, actually, haters. But Megan passed, and she got off on passing, and she enjoyed her passing, and she essentially says it. And a lot of black women that are thought leaders that I respect were appalled by her statements, because the thing that I called out years ago, for those of you that met me on that video, she said with her own mouth, I didn't know what it was like to be black. No, Megan, you didn't. And that's what I was saying. Everybody was like, oh, she's making it about race and this and that. No, it was about race for her. They were racist. There was wild stuff that happened. However, Megan's also a narcissist. Both things are true, guys. And that's what I was trying to articulate those years ago. And it just literally went over some people's head. They didn't get it. She is a polarizing, selfish narcissist. She is exactly what a lot of us have dealt with. And when you watch it and see it, it is so hard to unsee. So when she says, I was essentially passing, so it was a slap in the face to be treated like a black woman, to be ostracized and to be told to go back and to be told that I wasn't wanted, it was a shock to her system. Why was that a shock to your grown ass system, Megan, when you grew up in America? Because she had lived her life passing. She said as much on the thing. I'm paraphrasing, but you guys go watch it, research it for yourself. She said, I lived as a mixed person, right? But I know a lot of mixed and biracial people that fully embrace their blackness or whatever the other mix is of them. They embrace their Latina ethnicity. They embrace whatever it is. They do not shut out one side completely, but she did that because that was what was comfortable for her. And so all the black women, where are you today? Haters that had to say, when I say haters, I'm saying not everyone. There were a lot of black women that agreed with me, but it was so interesting that what people attacked me for was me not loving my race. And I'm like, y'all are defending someone who doesn't love her race, actually. In reality, you all are defending a narcissist who has used racism to make you have a goobly gobbly head about the fact that what we're looking at is a fucking narcissist. And let's talk about that. Back to Mariah and the diva comment. So Mariah tells her she's a diva. Megan makes Mariah, who the hell? Mariah Carey is such a diva that she won't even film. I'm literally in honor of Mariah sitting. I don't know if it's the right side, but Mariah has a side that she won't film from because she says one side of her face is better than the other side. So if you notice that in interviews, Mariah will be on the opposite side. Even with like Indy Cohen and Watch What Happens Live, Mariah will be sitting on the other side of a host that's normally always seated in a certain position because that's her better side. That's how much of a diva Mariah is. So if Mariah Carey tells you you're a diva, honey, wake up and smell the narcissistic coffee. You might be a diva. But instead, she doubles down with diva behavior, and what she does is she makes Mariah walk back the statement that she's a diva. So then Mariah's there having to explain, well, I mean, because you dress fabulously, because you have great fashion sense, because of this and because of that. And she's having to try to make the narcissist feel comfortable with the fact that she's just called her to her face a narcissist, essentially, and a diva. Not all divas are narcissists. The word is not interchangeable and synonymous. And yes, again, I have to acknowledge its negative connotations, etc., etc., etc. Good morning, Genevieve. Welcome to Sandals, Royal Barbados. I'll give you a quick view, Genevieve, since you just arrived. We are at, we are at the SwimUp Lagoon Lounges here in Sandals, Royal Barbados. Okay, so um, so Megan has to, or Mariah has to then like walk back the diva statement. All right. And she has to be like, no, you're not a diva. No, I mean, you're a diva, but you're a diva. You're like a baby diva. You're whatever. It was such a load of crap. And not for Mariah. Mariah was dead right with what she said. And her emotions about it were absolutely correct because she's been watching this girl wreak havoc. And what did Harry say about Megan? So let's not just use Mariah's words because maybe Mariah had one too many cocktails that day and she was out of sorts. No, why don't we use Harry, her husband's words? What Megan wants, Megan gets. It's a quote. It's not conjecture. It's not what I wish was said. It's not what I hope was said. It was what was said. What Megan wants, Megan gets. And that doesn't mean that every woman can't have their own ambition. A lot of us run households. Some of you guys are boy moms that live just with your husband and a bunch of boys. I have some friends like that, and they are the queen of the house, right? There are a lot of ways that we women can show up and be queens and divas in our own lives and in our own rights, and it's something that I embrace. It's something that I embrace, and it's a certain way that I carry myself. I am not hating for Mariah to be a diva or for Mariah to say that Megan was a diva. My issue is that it is the very thing that we have been talking about this whole time with Megan, which is that she is absolutely so unaware and so self-involved that she can't say that she's a little extra. I'm extra, y'all. It is the AM. I have on my sparkly scarf and multiple colors and full face. It's not even 5 a.m. here or whatever time. Well, I don't know what it is. Is it 5 or 6? I don't know what time it is. Y'all, one of y'all tell me what time it is Eastern time. I think we're on the same time. But whatever time it is, this is my life. Okay? I'm sitting under a rattan thing. We all are extra. But what Megan refuses to do is admit that she is extra or to be held accountable by her extraness. Now, one of the things that I have noticed happen here is that a lot of people commented. Bethany Frankel is one that it's really good to listen to because I love Bethany Frankel. Have followed her whole housewives career. Loved her new shoot. You know how you know that there's a Beyonce of the group? I always knew it was Bethany. Read her books when she was writing them, even though Skinny Girl was not my life. But I definitely supported her in every way. And the thing that I love about Bethany Frankel the most now is Be Strong. Her work that she does for all of the crisis like Ukraine, from Puerto Rico to you name it. Bethany is hands on the ground, boots on the ground. Bethany is about that life. She talks it like she walks it. She's a Scorpio. So she's a polarizing figure herself, but she has found a way to streamline her energy. She uses that transformative scorpionic power for good instead of destruction, because before she was just destroying people with her words. She still has that sharp wit and tongue. Well, she's opined on Megan and gotten pretty much canceled for it in the past, but recently she was like, Megan just won't let it go. And here's the thing, I agree and both disagree with Bethany. Whenever you have something racist happen to you, you will talk about it. And did Megan have experienced racism? Yes. I think probably for the first time in her life, from her own admission in her own podcast archetypes, she said, I experienced what it was like to be a black woman for the first time in my life when I was with my husband. So Megan now knows what it's like to feel like a black woman and to be treated badly and poorly, purposely, on purpose, repeatedly, whatever, to be ostracized, to be singled out, to have things not be fair. Welcome to the experience, girl. Well, Bethany was like, she has to let it go. She's like a housewife that's like, I want this thing to go away, stop talking about it. But then they never stop talking about it. And I'm like, well, Bethany, Megan she calls her a terrible business person as well. She says, she says, and I quote, she says, in the words of the great, it is so peaceful where I'm at, Kesala. It's gorgeous. No, not a single soul is out. I came out really early so that I could get like the best, all that's out are the lizards, the frogs, and birds and bugs. Okay, so Megan what was I going to say? Megan had an experience with racism. I believe her experience is real. So again, for the black women, they're going to tell me I don't understand. Yeah, girl, I do. Trust me. Trust me. I wish I don't have enough time here to tell you how much I understand. But it's an experience that she had, and all of these black women were rallying for her because they felt like she identified with their struggle. She did not. Until that moment, she did not. And that's what I was saying in my video years ago. But people were saying I was crazy. That happens to me a lot, so I'm used to that. Usually people come back around, they're like, oh, you were right. Yeah, I was right about that. She did not get it until you hear it from her own mouth. Now, do you get it? So, do I think that she should just let it go? No. When you have something happen to you, you can write a book about it, you can talk about it, you can make a podcast about it. You know what I say here, guys? Use your voice, right? So, especially with issues of racism, things don't change unless we speak to them. So, no, I don't think that you need to, I don't think that anybody needs to be silenced. Even Megan, with her vitriol, let her keep talking. I actually like when narcissists talk because then, or racists talk, because then you get to really hear the truth. You know, as we had our major political campaigns here and we had Brexit, hey, Momo's happy place. Yes, greetings from Morocco. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I love that you're in Morocco. I'm in Sandals Royal Barbados. I'm in at Sandals in Barbados, girl. Look at us traveling and being black and magical. Yes, girl, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna be looking for pictures and posts. Y'all go check out Mom's Happy Place. She has a channel here where she shares her traveling and her just being a gorgeous little melanated sister out in the world living her best life. Greetings from Morocco. Greetings from Barbados. I love it, girl. Look at us with our passports getting stamped. All right, so but Morocco, oh my God, such a bucket list dream thing. Buy spices, buy things, do the things. Oh, I'm so happy for you. um, so yeah. So anyway, what I was saying here is that regarding this, you're allowed to speak about your experience and you're allowed to speak about it as long as you want to. So, no, Bethany doesn't have a right to tell Megan to shut up. In fact, I don't want Megan to shut up. Let her keep talking so that we can hear her truth because, see, with her talking, now we've heard real truths, real admissions, and real issues that we all knew were there. And now she's telling on herself. I love when narcissists start to tell on themselves because of her hubris and her pride, she literally can't shut up. She's not going to. So Bethany doesn't get any right to tell me, Bethany Frankel, who are you to tell somebody to shut up? In fact, you're making content off of it. Can we all take a moment to think about the Queen? Tony, yes, I did acknowledge the Queen at the beginning of this podcast, at the beginning of this moment. I did. My mother is British West Indian and grew up in Antigua, and so the Queen was a huge figure in my life via my mother. So yes, we did. God rest the Queen. God love the Queen. It's been interesting because my mother was so tearful yesterday, as many in the world are and will be for some time. So Tony, thank you for that. Yes, we definitely acknowledge the Queen. But I'm gonna say this here, Tony. I don't know if you are familiar with some of the work that I've done in the past regarding this. I feel like there was undue stress heaped upon the Queen with this. Now, listen, no one is going to live a perfect life, and just because the woman was the Queen doesn't mean that there were not extraordinary circumstances where things were beyond her control. So I'm not saying that she deserved, meaning like that people were never going to just breathe around her or move so that life would be perfect. But I feel like what happened with Harry and Meghan was a huge stressor. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So I feel that it was a huge stressor, definitely. And I'm sure that that will be communicated about and there will be pieces written about it in the coming days. So stay tuned for that. But yes, definitely God rest the Queen. I am absolutely reverenced regarding that. But y'all, I'm here because the diva moment happened and I needed to speak on that because I just thought finally you guys are seeing, finally everyone is seeing what many people have been saying, and many people that were ostracized and told that they were terrible, white people, black people, Spanish people, many people that have ever lived with narcissistic abuse and behavior can recognize that there is 100% an issue with this woman called Meghan Markle. And if you don't think that her rebutting Mariah Carey and saying you are a you please apologize to me for calling me a diva is a problem or narcissistic behavior, I don't know what is. If that is not proof enough, then I don't know what is. You're allowed to kind of defend yourself. You're allowed to do whatever. We are humans. We all have emotions and feelings. But what I wanted us to do was just take a quick look at that, okay? So the world is waking up. so, oh, Momo's happy place. I'm so happy for you in Morocco. That's fantastic, sweetie. Like, absolutely, like, so happy for you. That's wonderful. What I will tell you guys here is this. For those of you that join me on this live, leave your opinions below. I know it's going to be polarizing because that's essentially what Megan is. She's incredibly polarizing. But, and leave your comments below regarding your experiences with ever feeling silenced. I struggle there because I know what Megan experienced to a degree. Well, not to a degree. I know what Megan experienced was racism, period. And I said as much in my first videos. It was what a narcissist will do is use anything in their tool bag to turn and twist the narrative away from their behavior and make you look over here at this. And that's what Megan was really good at doing. And there is nothing more galvanizing, nothing more polarizing or divisive than racism. And I hate that the empath in me hates that she had the experience. The realist in me thinks, Megan, if you hadn't lived your life passing, you would have had that experience previously. She's allowed to live her life whatever way there is. There's literally a movie, I think it's called Passing. I think it's on Netflix. You know who it stars? It's oh, I can't think of her name. She makes music. She was a protege of Prince. Her girlfriend. You wouldn't know it's her girlfriend because they're very quiet about their relationship. But she's in the movie, and they explore passing. People are out swimming. It's beautiful. They explore the idea of passing and what it means to live that life. And this was set in the 1940s or 50s. The point is, Megan admitted as much, and I think it's something to really think about, because a lot of us think that this is not something that really happens, but it is something that really happens. And Megan, in this day and age, was someone that did it until she couldn't do it anymore because they treated her so badly, and I'm sure she was. But a narcissist is still a narcissist, guys. I'm never going to stop saying that. Y'all can be mad about it. You can agree with me. You can disagree. Racism is real. Yep, yep, yep. Check, check, check. Check the video. Said it years ago. And narcissism is real. Yep, yep, yep. Check, check, check. And there is nothing more narcissistic than someone saying to the diva of all divas, how dare you call me a diva? Checkmate. I rest my case for eternity. And I'm sure Megan will give us lots more content and lots more to chew on, because the truth of the matter is narcissists can't help themselves, guys. So that's that on that. Anyway, so good sharing some energy with you. Yes, Tony. Yeah, and we acknowledge Tony. Yeah. Hello. Yes. I just love. I'm almost happy place. You delight me. All right, guys. If I have anything else, I will come back and I will share it with you. So good to share some energy with you. Yeah, leave your comments below regarding that. A lot of thoughts, but let's end it with this for sure. God rest the Queen. What an enormous service she did. What an incredible life. Heavy as a head, man. No easy decisions there, and decisions had to be made. I will tell you this. It's a polarizing thing to say this at this point, but in the previous days leading up to the Queen's passing, I spent a lot of time consuming content about Princess Diana because her passing and the anniversary of it happened recently. And when I was in Paris, safe travels and have a blast, says Momo's Happy Place, absolutely. And the same to you, my melanated sister. Please be safe. But buy spices, go to the bazaar, do all of the things that I will do someday in Morocco, and I definitely will film when I'm there. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much, Momo's Happy Place. Like, genuinely a delight. So happy for you, girl. So when I was watching all of this content about Princess Diana, I thought about how embattled she was and how unfair that whole situation was. And I thought about Camilla being a karmic, because you guys know I talk about that. And I thought, why couldn't Prince Charles? Oh my gosh, thank you, Momo's Happy Place. It is early, girl, so I was doing this like in a dark room because I didn't want to wake up my bestie. So thank you so much, because I came outside, I was like, oh, you know how we are about stuff, but thank you, I appreciate it. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is right, but girl, we're doing it. I was thinking about Princess Diana, and I was thinking about Camilla, and I thought, why didn't Prince Charles stand up to his mom? Well, it's the Queen. How do you stand up to the Queen? You know, and just say like, I love Camilla. And I recently, before Queen Elizabeth passed, well, a couple years ago, or within the last couple years, she allowed Camilla to be called Queen Consort. And I'm going to be honest, and this is probably going to piss people off, but I thought about when Princess Diana passed and how the Queen had some reluctance on some of the acknowledgments that should be made. I mean, the palace was covered in flowers, and you guys go back, and I remember it because I watched it live happen and cried and cried. I just loved Princess Diana. I just did. She was a Cancerian, which is associated with mother. Literally, Cancerians are associated with Luna and mother. And Luna being the moon. So they are very moved by their emotions and by their food. And we know that Princess Diana had issues regarding her issues with bulimia and stuff like that. If you understand astrology, understanding Princess Diana's life makes a lot more sense to me. But I was watching that, and I remember thinking about the Queen and the choices she made at that time. And all of that is erased now. Yesterday, Princess Diana and the Queen are in the same place. For whatever you believe, my beliefs are that they signed up in this life to have that terse and complicated relationship to teach so many lessons to each other and to the world. Heavy as the head. God rest the Queen, and God rest Princess Diana. It was for me as a metaphysical practitioner, I thought about that yesterday. I thought about the fact that they both have crossed, and how all of those things melt away. All of the things that you think matter don't when your life is at its end. And none of us know the time, the day, or the hour. So be good to the people that are around you. Love the people that are around you. Spend time connecting. Good morning. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm talking about the Queen. Spend time with the people that are around you. And, ma'am, are you British?
British.
Can I ask you your opinion? You don't have to be on camera at all. You're not. It's facing me. No. I totally understand. Can I ask? I actually have someone who is swimming here. We will not show her. We will respect her privacy. But I would love to know your opinion on the Queen and the passing. We were just talking about that on my live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's very sad.
Yes.
And I hope that Harry and Meghan got to see her.
Yes.
And I think that their situation with the royals is not right.
No.
It's very, very sad, isn't it?
It is.
Life is so short.
Yeah, I love your nails. Oh, wow.
You should be, hugging your family as much as you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
So I do hope they got to see her before she passed. And I now hope that brings them closer. The brothers closer.
I really pray so. I will say that my take on this, you may have heard as I'm talking, is that Meghan's a bit of an issue, and that was polarizing for the people that I communicate with, because I am a black woman. So they thought that I was not supporting black women, and I said no. I think there's an issue with personality disorder. This is not about race. No. Not to say that she did not experience what she did while she was there, but I have to think that your 90-something-year-old grandmother, even the Queen, had to experience incredible amounts of stress by what happened with the separation. That was so unfair to me, observing it, and it didn't need to be handled that way. Personally, I don't know you're actually from. My mother is West Indian, British West Indian, so definitely Italian with the Queen, but you're there.
I don't agree they treat Meghan.
Yeah.
When they were first married, and everybody, the whole world came out to see, like they did when Di and Charles were married.
Yes.
The whole world came out, and
yes.
everyone was for her. I don't really know where it went wrong and why it went wrong.
I don't know either, because I thought everyone was for her as well. I thought everyone celebrated.
I haven't really got any issues with her, really.
Right.
I think she's lovely, and when you go to live with the royals, all what you have to take on to play that part.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone could actually really foresee what that entails.
Right. Being underneath the
You know,
management of the firm.
What you can do and what you can't do, and yeah, you know, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's...
At the end of the day, they are humans like we are.
Yes.
Let them live and let them have their lives.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whether you've got a royal status or not.
Right.
I just think...
Let them live and let them have their life.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is a certain decorum and responsibility that one would assume entering into the royal family.
They have to do, and she must have known that going into the marriage.
Had to have.
You know, so, yeah, I really don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt your morning swim.
Right.
I thought, I heard your accent and I thought, oh, perfect. How perfect. How kismet.
Yeah. Well, we only flew out yesterday and we landed. My daughter greeted me. The Queen's died.
I know, the same. I was on the plane and that's how the pilot let us know.
Oh, well, the pilot even didn't let us know. Maybe he didn't, because I think we landed at 1:15 here.
Right.
1 o'clock here.
Right.
She didn't die until 6 o'clock, did she?
Right.
It was announced at 6 o'clock, so the pilot wouldn't have known. So, so I texted my daughter once I got Wi-Fi, and she didn't say she'd died. She just said, oh, I think the Queen's going to die today, because everyone was summoned to her bedside.
Yes, I saw Prince Charles made his way to the...
For 96, I mean, let's face it, she's had a good life.
Absolutely.
Good life.
Yes.
And I mean, I must admit, she did down her roles in the last couple of months.
Yes.
Because of health issues. And, you know, 96 years old, why would you still be doing that anyway? I mean, her husband gave up doing, you know, before he passed away, and he was very, very, very frail looking, wasn't he?
Yes,
but
he was very
sick. Yesterday, the Queen, I don't think she looked her age, really.
No,
you
my
know,
gosh.
She has had a good life, you know.
And incredible.
You know, had everything done for her, and, you know.
Yeah.
So.
70 years. Never will be done again. I don't think we'll ever see it again. So it's incredible.
Reigning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have goosebumps as you're saying it. It's incredible. Incredible life.
Yeah.
God rest the Queen.
So, yeah. But my daughter said they are mourning now for 10 days, and then the funeral will happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, we will definitely be staying tuned,
yeah,
of
that
course.
will be televised, I would imagine. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Unfortunately, I should still be here.
All right.
So,
wonderful.
yes, enjoy my morning swim.
And tell me your name, please.
Maxine.
Maxine, I'm Monette. So nice
lovely.
to meet
Nice
you, and I
to
will
meet
definitely
you.
see you around.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, then.
Thank you so much, guys. That was wonderful to have Miss Maxine actually comment, who is just flown in from England yesterday here to join us in Sandals, and absolutely wonderful commentary. I hope you guys got to hear that regarding the fact that she, as a native to England, has no problem with Megan. So it's so interesting that there were all these issues, and she thought we were just celebrating her. We wanted her to be here. We thought she was lovely. We really agreed with it. She said, I don't know if you could hear her say it, she said, I don't know where it went wrong. And Kaysella said, I thought it was weird. Hold on one second. She said, hello, Chalk Chalk. Hey, sweetie. Yes, I'm out here to officiate a wedding, so, you know, we had to put in a little caramel highlights and all that stuff. Kaysella said, I thought it was weird when Chalk Chalk had commented, for those of you that can't see the comments on my hair. He said, come through with the weave. Yes. I thought it was weird when she said that was her first time experience being a black woman using people. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me, y'all. How unqueenly of me. Usually people know a lot sooner. Usually people know a lot sooner. Yes, Kaysella. I remember my first experiences of realizing I was black and I was a toddler. Okay, that awareness was made to me very, very quickly. In any case, it is a huge eye roll for me. Especially the part about, like, I didn't know who Prince Harry was. Like, we all knew who Prince Harry and William were. They were cover boys and cover boys. So when I say that, meaning, like, they were teen heartthrobs, essentially. Prince William specifically was a super teen heartthrob, and Prince Harry was like the wild one and all the rest of it. So, excuse me, guys. What I will tell you here is that, you know, I love when my angels pop through with magic. I watched when Miss Maxine got in the pool from her suite across the way there, and that was meant to happen. So if you guys heard that, like, this is what I mean by my angels love me. They just send in magic. That was such a magical moment to have someone who is actually from England give their opinion, that there wasn't all this vitriol and hate towards Megan. They actually supported her, but then it went super left. And I'm sure it went left for a lot of reasons. I'm not there. I'm not in the firm. I'm not there. I don't know, y'all. But what I do know is a narcissist when I see one. Okay, okay. Now, Miss Maxine didn't have a problem with Megan. That's nice for her. I do. And so we stick by our opinions here. But yeah, it's a huge eye roll in so many ways. Kaysella, you're not wrong. And I was offended then because I knew what I was looking at, but it was even more offensive to me to hear her actually say what I always knew. I wasn't surprised. Everybody else that had made comments and thought that I didn't get it, they were like probably greatly surprised. And I know because a lot of people that defended Megan in videos, I went back and watched what they thought after recently when she said that, and they were like, I took such issue with that. That was so hard to hear because I had defended her so vehemently. Oh, yes. A narcissist will always make you live to eat your words. I did not gloat in seeing their realization or recognition of the fact that Megan had been gaslighting everybody the whole time, because that's what she did. She gaslit herself, I think. Narcissists do that too. Anyway, God rest the queen. I'll leave it on that. Our relationships and our connections are all here to teach us something. Love, and what Miss Maxine said is, I hope that they can go home and love each other and hug each other and rally. Narcissists don't like a rally, do they? I'm sure she will interject. But I hope Harry overrides his conditioning to really be with his family at this time, because their grandmother was iconic and will always be. Always, always, always. When people said long live the queen, they got their wish. She in fact did live long and had an extraordinary life, as Miss Maxine said, could want for nothing, and it was incredible to witness. I'm going to make another video about the karmic relationship between her and Princess Diana, because, like I said, as I was watching a lot of Princess Diana stuff, I thought about them meeting again, because we don't really die, guys. Our life goes on. And that's just my own personal belief, and I know it because I work with people. My bestie is here with me. My bestie is a medium, and I channel people as well during some of my readings. I don't tout myself as a medium. It's not what I do primarily. My bestie is actually an incredible medium, and I recently had a thing happen, and I'll share it here with you, with my sister, who had someone that passed that loved her very much, and she had her best friend visiting with her, and her best friend was woken up, and I met her best friend when I was in St. Croix last year to officiate another wedding, and her best friend was woken by the sounds of someone saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, but I love, and she said, and the person said my sister's name. And it scared her because she is very, not into this at all. So she was like, she asked my sister to call me. She was like, because I've done a reading for her best friend. And she was like, I think this is something you should probably get your sister in on. So they reached out, and I was confirmed. And ironically, the guy's name is Happy. That's not his real name. Well, actually, that was his real name, I think. That was what was so interesting. The guy that crossed over, his name was Happy. And he had showed up to reassure my sister that he was taking care of her. My sister is in the middle of all these renovations on this beautiful new house she has, and she was having just the darndest time procuring and keeping a handyman. And what happened is they kept running off, and she couldn't figure it out. Well, Happy was a handyman and an expert carpenter and craftsman who had been doing work in her house before he passed. She couldn't figure it out until her best friend comes over from St. Croix and has this experience. And we solve the mystery of the disappearing handyman. And I don't think that these handymen understood, and I don't think that Happy was creeping them out in a way where they could pinpoint it, but it was the weirdest thing, sis. These people would just ghost me, and I was treating them well. My sister does treat people very well. She was like, I was treating them well, I was tipping them extra, I was giving them stuff out of my garage. Like, she was like, that's my sister. And it was really interesting. She couldn't keep anybody because this person who was crossed over that you think is gone has been creeping out these people because they weren't reputable. Like some of them were actually scammers, she found out later. And it was such an interesting story arc because I met Happy when he was here. I saw his love for my sister. I used to rib her as a little sister. Like, Happy has a crush, you know, like he was in love with my sister. She didn't reciprocate it. It was unrequited, but she treated him well and she loved him and was a good friend to him. But he was in love with her and apparently loves her still from beyond. That's real. And that's part of my life every day. It's very normal to me for someone that's clicking onto this video and you're listening about Megan and the Queen and you're like, okay, we've deviated here. This is my work, so it's all part of it for me. But for anybody, someone here needs to hear that then, about a loved one that's crossed over or about the reality that life goes on after. And I was framing this against Princess Diana and the Queen Elizabeth. But what I will tell you is this. We don't just disappear into the ethers. We are still here and we are still able to connect with our loved ones if we so choose. And for my sister, Happy so chose. And now he's a mischievous energy that we understand, but he's not malevolent. He is there to protect her and he loves her. And he wanted her to know that. And he came through, and I love that he did it. He came through someone who is not in this work and who literally was freaked out and was like, what is going on? Because that was authentic and that was true. And he wanted my sister to know how much he loves her. And he wanted it not to be disputed. If it would have come through me, and I have read on him and read for him and before and all the rest of it, it would have been something that she could have just easily maybe dismissed, but we can't dismiss it when it happens in the way it does. So pay attention to the way that your loved ones come through after they've crossed, because they do. We don't just disappear. And I believe the same. No sacrilege here. I just, no matter what your beliefs are, I really do believe that there will be communication that Queen Elizabeth does to her loved ones in little ways that only they will know and be able to confirm. So Tony, yes. Miss Maxine said that they will be in 10 days of mourning and then the funeral will begin. So take time to think about your loved ones who have crossed over in this time. And if you have loved ones that are still here, take time to love them, because they won't always be physically here, but they will always be here. Love really does go on and on. Celine never lied. So good sharing energy with you guys. Cool side. Let me flip it. Miss Maxine's not in view. I don't want to get her in view. Gorgeous, isn't it? She's about to return from her lap. I can see her rounding the bend. So I'll bring it back. Come back and join me next time, guys. From beautiful, oh God, isn't it gorgeous? Oh. Beautiful Sandals, Royal Barbados. I will definitely get us to the beach here shortly. So good sharing it with you. Come back and join us next time, and we will continue to evolve together. Bye.